Today I am going to be sharing all of my thoughts and opinions on Sara Carrolli's 5-star read. Hello there, thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome to my channel and welcome back to Bookmas. Oh my gosh, it is Bookmas day 5. We're almost halfway. This is so exciting. I'm also stoked to finally be filming today's video because this is a video I have thought about for the last 3 years or so, to be honest with you. Today I am going to be sharing all of my thoughts and opinions on Sara Carrolli's 5-star reads, as well as doing a little bit of a mini reading vlog of some of these books. I also really quickly want to start by mentioning the fact that I am a little bit sick. My voice does not normally sound like this, but here we are. It's Bookmas, the grind literally cannot stop. So I'm pushing through and filming. My throat is killing me and I cannot stand the way my voice sounds. We're just gonna have to ignore it. We're gonna have to live, laugh, love and get through it, okay guys? So for a little bit of background, I am a very big fan of Sara Carrolli. I love her videos. I love her. She is one of the sweetest and loveliest people I've met or spoken to, I guess. She is absolutely incredible and her content is just so cozy and comforting, I feel like. I also get so many of my book recs from her. And I remember when I first started watching Sara Carrolli, I saw her do a video of like her opinions on all of Steph Bohrer's 5-star reads. And from when I saw that video, I was like, oh my gosh, I want to do that video but for Sara and her 5-star reads. And finally 3 years later, here we are doing it. Like I said, I do get a lot of book recommendations from watching Sara's videos. So I know that we have very similar taste. So if we go into Sara's list and we go to her 5-star books, she has 39 5-star books. I have not read all 39 of them, so I cannot sit here and review them all, but we're just going to go through starting with the bottom of the list and work our way up of every single book that's on her 5-star list that I've read, and I'll give you a brief synopsis, share my opinion on it, and share my rating. And then for the final 2 books, like I said, I did read them specifically for this video, so we have a little bit of a reading vlog to go along with it, and we'll just get into that when the time comes. But to start with, we're gonna kind of not speed through but power through the first few books. I just realized I forgot the first book, and arguably one of the most important books. Okay, so the first book on Sara Carrolli's 5-star reads list that I have read is Magnolia Parks. Obviously, I feel like if you know Sara, if you watch her videos, you know that she loves the Magnolia Parks universe, and me too. 5 stars, 100%, without a doubt. Magnolia Parks is a 5-star read. I don't know how it could not be, to be honest with you. Look at all of my tabs. And all of the writing. Yeah, I loved this book. I have only read the first, I've read the first and the second Magnolia and the first Daisy, but I've not continued on because I'm just like, I'm so sad. I don't want to carry on with it. But yes, starting off strong, Magnolia Parks, I also give it 5 stars. Next up is Powerless by Lauren Roberts. This is a book I actually read because of Sara, and 5-star again. I loved this book. It was / is one of the first fantasies I've read, and I'm obsessed with it. I've actually not continued the series just because I only read it earlier this year and I didn't read too much this year, so it just kind of fell down on the priority list. But high priority for 2026 is finishing this series because I love Kai and Peyton and I love this story so much. I had so much fun reading it. Absolute 5-star. Sara knows what she's talking about. Next up is Beach Read by Emily Henry. Let me just, oh wait, sorry. I don't know if that tells you anything about how I would rate this book, but it's a 5-star. It's an absolute 5-star from me. This is actually one of the books I read early on in my reading journey. I think I read it at the beginning of 2022, and honestly it like changed my life. It was the first Emily Henry book I read. The first book at all like this because Emily Henry's writing is so unique, and the way that she dances between women's fiction and romance is unlike anything else. And this was the first time I had ever read anything remotely like that, and I absolutely loved it. I think about January and Gus so often to this day. So yeah, absolutely, it's a 5-star from me. Next on this list is a book I listened to the audiobook version of, so I don't have a physical copy. But that is Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. This is a thriller about a couple, and it kind of goes through all their past anniversaries, and then their current anniversary, they're in a cabin in the mountains in Scotland, I believe. And some weird stuff is going on. Thinking back on it, the premise of this book is really cool, and the twist 100% got me, but I just didn't really enjoy my time listening to it, to be honest, unfortunately. And this is a book that I would probably give like a 3.5, maybe a 4 stars if I'm being generous. So this is the first book we have here today that I have disagreed with Sarah on, unfortunately. Next book we have is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I actually read this in a 24-hour reading challenge a couple years ago, and I loved it. 5 stars. This is another book that just is so unique and unlike anything else, and it's just incredible. It's truly incredible. Reading this book is like a high that I will never experience again, to be honest with you. You've got everything. You've got like the music aspect, the band dynamic aspect, and then you've got romance, you've got cheating, you've got so much drama. It's just so much fun, and it's such an interesting world to dive into, if that makes sense. But yes, this is another one that I also rated 5 stars. Next up, for the final book before we get into the 2 books that I read specifically for today's video, we have The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. This book, when I read it, 5 stars, 100%. Do I know if necessarily I would still stand by that? I don't know. I would like to think I would, because I remember loving this book. I don't even know how to explain it other than just it's fun and it's well written, and Ali Hazelwood, she just knows how to write a book, to be honest with you. She just knows how to write a really good damn book. So I do think that I would still give it 5 stars to this day, but it was a really long time ago, and this is probably the only book on this list that I have said 5 stars to that it could probably be like a 4.75 if I read it again, but who knows, not me. And for now, I have also rated it 5 stars. Now we're going to move into the 2 books that I read specifically for this video, and the first one of those is Happy Place by Emily Henry. I'm not going to tell you my rating of this book yet, but it is about Harriet and Wynne, who have been together for quite a few years. They are from the same friendship group that all met in college. The friendship group started out with Harriet, Sabrina and Cleo, 3 girls who were just magically partnered as roommates. There was actually a quote that I will jump in and read here. The most important friendships in my life all came down to a decision made by strangers, to chance. And I think that being right on page 1, the very first thing you read when you open the book, is such a testament. Like, I just knew going into it what was going to come. Regardless, as I was saying, we have Sabrina, Cleo and Harriet, who 3 best friends, roommates in college, and they started taking these annual trips to a beach house or a lake house in Maine every summer, and eventually they move out of their original apartment and move in with these 2 guys, Wynne and Path, and these guys end up joining on the trips. Harriet and Wynne end up getting together, and skip forward a few years, they end up getting engaged. Everyone is so excited for them, but starting off this book, Harriet and Wynne are actually no longer together. They've broken up, but they haven't told any of their friends yet, and it's the summer. They're about to spend the summer in Maine. Harriet goes alone because Wynne is busy working, but Wynne ends up turning up for reasons that you will find out when you read the book, and they basically have to pretend that they're still together and they're still in love for the week while they're in Maine. I don't really know what more I can say, but yeah, I don't know. let's get into the reading vlog and then I will come back and share my thoughts on Happy Place. I loved it. 5 stars. This book, as you guys saw, I cried, I laughed, I giggled. This book, first of all, the first few chapters are so funny. Like right off the bat, Emily Henry she's done it again with the banter. The banter between the friends, the banter between Harriet and Wynne, it is just next level. I've never laughed so much at the first few chapters of a book in my life. It was, I don't know, I loved the way it was written and the characters, but oh, I don't even have the words, guys. This book obviously at its core is a romance, but it is so much more of that. And like I said earlier with Beach Read, Emily Henry, she tiptoes that line between women's fiction / literary fiction and romance, where yes, obviously the book wouldn't be there without the romance, but at the end of the day, it's what our female main character and our male main character, but predominantly the female main character, is really going through that moves the story along and that creates the romance, if that makes sense. And this book especially, we get so much talk on friendships and the female friendships in this book, like the dynamics, and I don't know, I just think it was so much more than just a romance, to be honest, and to bring it back to just a romance feels wrong. There were so many attributes to Harriet's character that were like a mirror. It's insane. I love her so much. She's definitely not perfect, but a lot of her thinking and the way that she thinks people view her and everything is just so real and raw, and that is something about these characters. They're real, if that makes sense. I mean, they're not real. They are quite literally words on paper. But they feel real. They're so three-dimensional. I feel like I could talk about this book forever and ever and ever. I annotated it. It's the first book I've annotated in a long time, but I just had so much fun annotating it because this book was truly just beautiful, and there's no other words for it. Okay, moving on to the next book that I read for this video, and the final book for this video, we have The X-Files by Jessica Joyce. Same as with Happy Place, I'll give you a bit of a synopsis, then we'll get into the reading vlog before we come back and I tell you guys my thoughts and feelings. So this book follows Eli and Georgia, and a funny thing actually, very, very similar premise to Happy Place. I started this and I was reading it and I was like, this is the exact same as Happy Place. And the fact that I read 2 books in like the exact same genre was I did not mean to. I didn't know that that's what either of these books were about before I got into them. Well, I guess I knew this one, they were exes. That was Second Chance, but I honestly didn't even know Happy Place was a second chance, and then by the time I got to this, I had forgotten that obviously it is too, and I was like, this is so weird. But this book similarly follows Georgia and Eli, who again, kind of similar. They have a mutual friend who they've both been friends with since they were really young. This guy is Georgia's best friend and he is actually getting married. And Eli and Georgia are co-best people for the wedding. So they obviously have to work together. Everything seems to be going wrong with this wedding and Eli and Georgia are kind of forced into working together to save the wedding. And within that, they kind of have to confront a lot of the issues with their relationship and with their past that they've not yet sought out, which is very similar to Happy Place and what happens when Harriet and Wynne get stuck having to pretend to be together again for a week. They're just sort of forced into this situation where they have to confront the mistakes they made in the relationship and sort of any preconceived notions that they had as to why the relationship ended sort of get brought to the surface and fleshed out, if that makes sense. So that's basically what happens within this book. Long story really short. We'll go through the reading vlog and then again I will come back and give you guys my thoughts on this one. Okay, so to me, The X-Files was a 4-star. I really enjoyed it. The actual plot was incredibly well thought out and well written. I feel like these days you get a lot of romances that tend to feel like the author had an idea and just wrote it without really thinking about the idea. Does that make sense? Or really thinking about the characters? That was not the case with this. These characters were again very three-dimensional, so real, so flawed, and the character development that you see for both of them throughout this book, especially because you do get a couple flashbacks to when they were younger and their relationship, and the character development and the growth of these characters was insane. I loved it. My issue was that I just feel like I wasn't necessarily connecting to the writing style, and that is where it sort of fell a bit flat for me. I really struggled to just sit down and read this. I listened to the audiobook for a lot of it, which could have made it worse or better, I don't know. I just felt like it was the only way I was going to be able to get through the writing. I don't know if that makes sense, because the plot I loved, the characters I loved, following their story I loved. It was just the actual writing style that for some reason I could not connect to. The first night I started it, I read like 2 chapters and I was just like, what did I read? Like, I don't even know how to explain it. It just kind of felt like, it felt like I hadn't read anything. I was like, I don't know a single thing I just read. I don't feel connected to the story at all. I don't know. I really struggled with the writing style. But the actual plot itself was unreal. I basically read the same book twice in a row. Again, Georgia had such a specific view on the world and how people see her and her permanence in people's lives, I feel like, which is something that I have absolutely struggled with before and I feel like a lot of people struggle with. And so to see it in a character is really amazing, and just the whole plotline of them having to save this wedding from disaster was really fun to read about. And I've not read a lot of books that take place around weddings, so I really enjoyed that and I'll definitely be reading more. I wish I connected to the writing more, I really do. Okay guys, well that kind of is it for today's video. I thought this was such a fun idea. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, let me know and I could do a part 2 more reading vlog style, because obviously I've not read any of the other books on her 5-star list. Or if you guys want to see this with any other booktubers or book influencers at all, let me know down below, because obviously we look to these booktubers to get our book recommendations, and I just thought it would be fun to see, do me and Sara Carrolli actually have similar taste in books? And I think it's safe to say we definitely do. Of the 8 books that I've read off of her 5-star book list, 6 of them were 5 stars, 1 was a 4-star and 1 was a 3.5. So I think it's safe to say that I share a similar taste in books to Sara Carrolli, and I will 100% continue to take every single book she recommends and add it directly to my TBR, because I'm just a girl. What am I meant to do when my favorite book influencer recommends a book? I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna buy it. Well, thank you guys so much for watching day 5 of Bookmas. I hope you had a good time. If you did, please give this video a like and subscribe. It genuinely means the world to me. I have been having a lot of fun doing Bookmas, and I hope you guys are enjoying it, and I will see you tomorrow for another day of Bookmas. Bye!